Hey everybody, and welcome to rabb1t's Ramblings, podcast 412. This time I don't have anything new to talk about really. The First Descendant's new season, their first official season, started about a week ago. That's really the only thing I have to talk about. So I will talk about my disappointment with that, and that's it for this time. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show.
Technology to inversion reinforcement device. If you have found a drone which has the correct optic properties, I can adjust the output to cancel out the blast energy.
Be recharged.
So the First Descendant's new season has started up, and I'm pretty much still disappointed with it. First off, the new character that they added, which I was originally really super excited for, is really a huge pain in the butt to try and get. Before, with your ultimate characters, you would have to farm a bunch, but you always had a chance, and every day I would go and I would gather the things, and then open them up, and there's a chance to get the part, and then you do that enough times, and then you build your ultimate person. Pretty much the only ones I wanted were Lepic, Ajax, and then I guess kind of Bunny. I only just recently got her because there's certain content that kind of feels like you need Bunny, so I did her. But with this new character, it's tied into the seasonal content, and you only have a chance to really get the parts basically 4 times a day. After that, it's just super rare grinding. And each of the parts has a chance to drop. And of that chance, you need 36 of each part. I think I've done maybe 10 or 12 of those special missions, and I've got like 2 parts for one and like 4 parts for the other. It's like almost no progress at all. So that was super disappointing. And I've actually heard she's probably not somebody I'm actually going to care about playing. She is apparently a super long range sniper, and you want to stay pretty much out of range of her regular abilities just to use the one super powerful ultimate ability. And that is not how I play. That's kind of why I stopped playing Lepic, because if you're doing content that relies on just the ultimate and you're just doing the ultimate, that's super boring. So I don't know. I guess I probably won't really be interested in playing her, even when I get her. Also, super disappointing is that there were a couple of new ultimate weapons that they were going to release, and I guess those have pretty much been held until later in the season, so they're not even there yet. But I suppose really the biggest disappointment is the seasonal content itself. Those special missions I mentioned are a huge pain in the butt, because right now you can only do them solo. And one of them is you have to go in and you stand on this special colored square, and everybody's trying to shoot at you while you're standing still in the square, which with Ajax isn't the worst thing in the world, but you have to light up 3 different spots, and you do them, one at a time, and while you're doing the first one, the bad guys are trying to kill you, and they're coming in, and then they're trying to blow up the spaces, so you might get the first spot, but then while you're getting the second spot, the bad guys are blowing up the first spot, and it just goes back and forth, and it gets really, really frustrating and stupid. And then the other kind of new seasonal content is almost as equally stupid. I do not see how people get through these missions, because you're not standing still, but you have to chase down these moving drones, and while you're chasing down the moving drones, you have to reveal these special spots on this super secret code, and so you have to try and memorize the super secret code while you're shooting the bad guys, and the bad guys are coming in waves from all directions. So if you're trying to look at this one direction for the super secret code, you're getting shot at from, 360 degrees around you. It's really stupid and really difficult, and I do not know how anybody gets through it without, specifically building Bunny in one, set way, because she does, AE around her, and then she would be fine with that. But every other Descendant, it's like, no, they would get wrecked. I am playing on Ajax with effectively triple the defense of other Descendants and double the hit points, and I am barely getting past without getting wrecked, because if you get killed, that whole section will reset. So I don't see how people are getting through this in any reasonable form. I am certainly not enjoying either of those. I would much rather just do the basic content. And then on top of that, the seasonal artifact, it's a thing very similar to the Destiny 2 artifact, if you aren't familiar with that, has these bonuses to your stats that have negative effects as well. So there is really no reason for you at all to take the effects, to take the nodes, because you're going to gain something, but you're also going to be losing something. Like there's one that gives you faster grappling speed, which normally would be like, yeah, great, I grapple like all the time. But its negative is you take 13% more damage while grappling. And you're like, well, I guess that would be okay if there's nobody around, which probably half of the time you're just grappling to move around faster around the map and nobody's around. But the other half of the time, you are trying to grapple to somewhere to get a health thing because you're almost dead. And so if you're going to be taking more damage when you're doing that, you're going to jump up and try and grapple somewhere to get the health thing, and you're going to get instantly killed because you're taking more damage. So that is super dumb, and all of the nodes are like that. You gain a thing, but you have this negative effect that is so bad. It's like, well, in this situation, I would just get instantly killed from that. So I'm not even spending any seasonal points at all, and I might even just start skipping it and waiting until they patch those changes in, because at the head, they're gonna patch in that people can play in groups, and then they're gonna patch in some stuff to make those 2 missions less bad in the ways that they are bad. So they should be better in the future, but I don't know when that patch is coming. So I have lost quite a bit of interest for the moment. I'm still kind of playing sometimes though, but that's really it for stuff to talk about this time. I don't really have much to say in the close. I don't remember if I mentioned the right ankle bump I have, where it's like 40% bigger than my left ankle. And I finally went to the doctor, and he basically confirmed everything I thought he would, in that yes, the damage to the ankle is because I have flat feet. It is pretty much avoidable and would have happened at some point. He did say this is much less bad than people he's seen, so I'm also, not in any pain, and he's like, well, a lot of people have really bad pain and they're much worse off, so you're not so bad. I guess the positive thing, though, is that I asked him, I think possibly twice, I may have broken that ankle, and I didn't have any health insurance at the time, so I didn't, go to the doctor to get it checked out. But he did say that in the x-rays he saw zero evidence of any breaks that previously happened that may not have healed. So if I did, they've healed and there's no evidence at all that they were broken. So that is a good relief, because I've always, kind of thought that maybe because, my life is sad and I didn't have coverage at those times, that I might have, brought this on myself, as it were. But that seems to be not the case. He did recommend I get some inserts for my shoes, and when I went to buy the inserts, I decided to double check my foot size because it's been forever, and I was kind of right there too. The shoes I have are barely exactly big enough for me, and I should probably be wearing a half size bigger just to be sure, because my right toe, I don't remember if I mentioned, is almost at like a 20-ish degree angle going to the outside. And I don't remember it being crooked like that. I remember it being straight. So I've been wondering for, 5 or 6 years now, I guess, if maybe the shoes are too small and maybe they're pushing the toe to the side. And the person at the shoe store said, yeah, that's possible. So I definitely need to get very slightly bigger shoes before I get the special inserts. The ones I have are okay, but probably in the next 4 to 6 months, if I can afford it, I definitely should get new boots, and then I get the special inserts to help me not damage my feet so much. But that's really it for this podcast. I have no idea what I will talk about next time. I don't know what games are coming out soon because I don't have any money. I'm still trying to save up to pay all of my car insurance at once, which is, the best case scenario. I think I did mention if I don't do that, then it's effectively like 35% more expensive because they charge like $10 a month to pay them monthly, which goes nowhere. That does not pay for any of the actual coverage. That's just a like, hey, you're paying monthly penalty. So that is the stupidest thing ever that I try and avoid. And that should be coming up pretty soon, so hopefully I can pay a huge chunk of it off, or maybe all of it. I haven't fully added up all of my money in total to double check yet. But that's really all I can think of to talk about for this time. Like I said, I don't know what's coming up, and if there is anything coming up, I probably don't have any money for it, so I do not know what I'll talk about next time. But hopefully I'll see everybody then. Okay, thanks, bye.
You have been listening to Rabbit's Ramblings. If you would like to see the show notes or feed the bunny by sending a donation, you can find the show website at www.rabbit.com/podcast/rabbitsramblings.html. When you type Rabbit's Ramblings, don't use a space. If you would like to send me an email, you can do so at rabbit@rabbit.com. If you like my page, you can also post on Facebook at rabbit.com. You can follow me on YouTube at rabbit.com. I have a page on Patreon at www.patreon.com/rabbit, RABB1T. You can set up a monthly recurring subscription there at a price point of your choice. Be sure to put the number 1 in place of I anytime you type rabbit. Rabbit's Ramblings is copyright Eric Stryker, using a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Derivatives License, 2024.